Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another indie comic book review. We are officially at episode number 6. Yep. A couple more to go before we hit episode 10.
The double digits.
The double digits. And this week, or this episode, we will be discussing books that were released on November 6, 2013. Yep. All from the indie companies. We got tons of companies, tons of books. Literally, we've got a total of 21 books. That's more than the big two, and I'm including that. I'm including one. We have one physical and 19. I'm sorry, 19. No, we don't have 21.
It's around that range, pretty much.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I can count. I'm not cuckoo. I had another link open which made me think 21. But anyway, we have 2 books that were not released on the week of the 6th. One book Mike's been reviewing, and one book I'm going to begin to review. So, Mike, let's start with you and your book.
Yep.
And then we'll go into my book.
Yes, from Salient Comics, Binary Gray, issue number 3, which all of you know is written by Chris Charleston.
So tell us, who is the guy that actually attacked Alex in the end of the last issue?
He from last issue we see Moth, who attacks Alex, but actually
he says eat shit and he whacks him with a stick.
He's not actually a bad guy to him. Like, he's actually telling him that you know, you shouldn't be going around about finding out about your father's death of everything else, because he doesn't want him to turn out like
his father?
He did, the Moth, you know.
Oh, like the Moth, okay.
Like what he did, and he said, you know, you should take things a little bit easy and stuff like that. We do get more about Alex, about you know, everything that he's been doing, and he actually did something very illegal with using his powers that the FBI and some woman who knows him are behind this, actually. Mm-hmm. I think it was some kind of music thing. He did something illegal. I don't know if it was music or if it was something there. But if you want to find out, you should definitely read Binary Gray, number 3. The artwork looks really amazing. And
I love the artwork. I'm looking at the artwork
and you know,
I like it.
To think that the Moth was going to be a villain, he actually wasn't. He was actually there to tell Alex.
And you know, it was a perfect cliffhanger for issue number 2 going into issue number 3.
I know, and that really caught my eye, like saying you know, no fight scene or anything else, because the only powers he has is using his technology skills, which we've seen in a couple of issues. But I'm really enjoying these issues, guys. I really highly recommend you check out Binary Gray. I mean, it's just really an awesome comic book series that I've been reading and reviewing as well on these episodes.
And if you like checking it, if you'd like to check out news, every other day on Facebook, there's new news on the Salient Comics Facebook page involving Binary Gray and Blackheart, yeah, and other things that are going on in the Salient world. And I have a long time before I can catch up with description, so I'm going to tell you guys, it's facebook.com/ASSAILANTCOMICS. Well, you don't have to say .com. It's just.
Well, yeah, I know.
Or you can just go to SalientComic.com and it'll link you to everything, and then you'll be in the news anyway.
Facebook-wise, you can just type in Salient Comic.
Well, you know, everybody uses the Facebook.
I know. I'm just saying, but I really highly recommend you check it out. And I did leave stuff out, like I said, because I really want you guys to read this, because it's highly recommended and very interesting. And I'm looking forward to reviewing all the other Binary Gray books, and yeah, just check it out, Binary Gray.
Now, the book I'm doing comes from Argo Comics, and it's called Argo 5. Actually, I want to make sure I'm right with the... ArgoComics.com. ARGO Comics.com.
And there's this one guy that so reminds me of Spider-Man.
We'll get to that.
But I'm just saying.
And it's written by a good friend of mine, Dan Sin. I got to meet him at New York Comic Con. We got talking about comic books and everything. And he mentioned his series to me. He shared issue number 2. I have a physical copy of issue number 2. The rest I have digitally. And I'm not going to start at number 2. I'm going to start at issue 0, which is this issue right here. And we're going to work our way forward up to issue 5, because issue 5 is what I have up to so far. So the story is by Dan Sin. The art is by Arlie Tucker. This is a 0 issue, so right off the bat, you guys got to know that this is going to be an introduction to the characters and to the team, and that's exactly what it is. And I got to say, for a book to win me over at page 1 is the location. Issue 0, first page, takes place in Brooklyn, New York. New York. I was like, oh, Dan,
no place but Brooklyn.
You sold me on the first page. It was perfect. And you get the introduction to each and every character. You get an introduction to Chain Reaction. You get an I want to make sure I say her name right. Gladiatra. You get Shazrath. You get Blue Dynamo. And you get Cassira in different order. I'm just reading off the roster, and I love how in a book, especially at the beginning, before you actually get into the book, especially because you forget the name of characters sometimes. Sometimes it slips your mind to know that you can go back to the front and you have an index that tells you the characters, as well as in future issues there is a last time in Argus 5. And I love that because let's say it takes a while for the next book to come out.
Right.
You have that last time that synopsizes what you read last time, and it reminds you.
Don't they do that in some comic books nowadays?
They do. I like that in X-Men when they did that with X-Men. So I love that. And actually, when I met Dan at New York Comic Con, he had given me issue 0, and I'm like, I hope it's okay. I'll be able to jump into it because it's issue 2. You always think issue 1 started. And he showed me on the first page it said last time. So you gotta love that when a comic, when the writers and the artists and everybody takes the time out in the front page to actually tell you what happened last time in case you missed it or in case it's been a while, and you get the character rundown.
Sum it up in short sentences as well.
So I'm not going to spoil a lot of this book. This is a 0-issue book once again, so this is all introduction.
Yeah, I was just saying it's more of an origin.
I have to say, I love Gladiatra. Atria. It's so hard to say her name. Gladiatria. Her father, there's a scene in the book where she's talking with this man who is actually funding Argus 5, and he creates the satellite, which is going to be their home base, and he owes his life to Gladiatria's father. And the scene where you get about her father, it reminisces so much to me and Superman, like classic Superman. And once again, that's a selling point to me again because that is awesome. And the artwork, I do like the artwork in this book. It's really nice. It's a new type of art, to be honest, but it fits this book, I feel, really well. But I did see the artwork as time moves forward.
And it shows a futuristic image of that as well.
Well, that's actually Maltesa.
I know, but I'm just saying to me when I saw it, but it's really all about the origins of the character, which
you get
stuff.
And I love how in a 0-issue, when the writer takes the time out not to just give you like a few panels, we have pages for each character, individual pages for each character, and that's what you want, especially in an introduction book. You want a really deep intro to each character, especially when you're starting your series off with a team book. You want to know who each and every character is, and you want to know a dynamic of their personality and what their powers are, and this way you can relate and understand them as the story goes forward. And Dan Sin does exactly that with this book. It's a perfect 0-issue, 5 out of 5. Literally 5 out of 5.
Absolutely.
Because it sets everything up. And the character Mike's talking about that reminds him of Spider-Man is Blue Dynamo. And I like Blue Dynamo, actually, out of all the characters. It's the costume, it's the powers, and it's just his personality. I like it. And in this book, a little bit of a spoiler here, his scene where it's focused directly on him is his girlfriend, who's a superheroine also, breaking up with him, and she said, I'm going to go on Hero, what was it called? It's like Facebook.
Hero to change the status.
To change the status to single.
Yeah.
And they're done. And I'm like, wow, this guy, and when he said Spider-Man, I'm like, yeah, this guy definitely, oh, here he is. Hero Space, like MySpace. How can I not make that? Haha. This guy reminds me, when he said that, I'm thinking the Park of Luck.
Yeah.
I love
just
the
Blue
Dynamo.
Yeah.
And it was perfect, this book, and how Gladiatria actually fixed Shazrath, has long hair, and she doesn't like that, so she actually buzz cuts him in the towards the end of the first story.
And this is
I
where
like
actually
that.
the formation comes in, where they all team up together. I like how the formation of how they got together and what their plans are to save the world and all that. Like, that really... It felt more like an Avengers book also, like, you know how the Avengers
getting the team
got
together, and
yeah.
they're all in their different places where they're from, and then they all come together at the end.
Yeah, because you got their origin story. I'm talking about movies.
Not even an origin. It's not even an origin. You're just getting
an
this
introduction.
point in time of,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
And then the second story is hilarious also. Once again, it involves Blue Dynamo, and it's a dating service, and he's explaining all the characters that are part of Argo 5. And then at the end, it turns out the woman's like, "Oh, well, you're part of a group. Never mind." And he was doing this for a date.
I like that.
But she was actually looking for a sidekick, not a date. And I thought that was hilarious. And that's really the end of the issue. And then you get tons and tons and tons of pinups of group shots, individual characters. And I love that too, when you get those little individual things at the end of the book. It really gives you that extra artwork. And like I said, I'm a real huge fan of Blue Dynamo, and I like his artwork, his pinups in this book. Really nice. Guys, ArgoComics.com. Check out issue 0. Worth the read.
It is.
Absolute.
Definitely.
And I'm looking forward to continuing my reviews from issue 1 through 5. Looking forward to future issues as they become available. Reviewing. Was awesome book. Definitely check it out. So that was Argo 5, and that is the last book that is outside of November 6th books. So before we go into the digital books, let's do the one physical book.
Okay.
It's kind of, this is the first time ever that
By
we
the way,
have.
guys, I got my iPod back.
Yeah,
so brand new. So everything will.
Why don't you show the book?
Yeah, I was just gonna show the book from Vertigo Comics, Hinterkind, number 2. This
little higher.
Yeah, thank you. Number 2.
And while you do that,
Really, this comic book actually focuses more on Prosper and what was his name? You get his name. Hold on. Angus. Like I'm thinking Burger King.
like beef.
Yeah, like the Burger King thing. Artwork looks really amazing. Like basically, Prosper's trying to fight off this monster, and Angus saves her. And they don't want to go back because in the last issue, remember when we found out Angus has a tail and everything? Like, they just don't want to go back to the city with his condition and to tell the others about everything. So instead, they just go off together and meet this guy named John Hobb, who was a very interesting character that talks to them. Meanwhile, in California, Teresa and her mother have a huge talk about, some other things, and you can check out yourself.
Not really too much of a fan of the artwork.
Well, the artwork I thought was pretty good.
Some scenes I don't like.
What they talk about, what interests me, is the silver skin. Like the only.
You gonna be checking this out? Just before you
Dead
turn the
Boy
page.
Detective. Maybe I'll probably look into it when it comes out,
Okay.
but I'll see though. So going back to the story, the silver skin, that really got me. Like the only relic that's remaining, I have a huge feeling that that's gonna play a really big issue, and they actually mention Hinterkind, like what they're about and everything, which relates to the comic book. So meanwhile, at the campfire, John Hobb is telling Prosper and Angus about his journey of why he's here, that what he is. He's a bounty hunter for animals and everything. And even Langshan, who is half man, half goat, actually appears in this issue. But as the issue continues on, spoiler, John Hobb betrays them, and there's these mystical creatures that come along, and there's someone that's watching them of what's going on. And who's watching them is what really got me. Like he said, who indeed? And we don't know who this guy is until the next issue if you go down to the woods today. But guys, this issue...
They're really pushing those Dead Boy Detectives, aren't they?
Well, yeah, because it's brand new. But guys, this really picked up. I mean, the last issue was good, but this was even better. I mean, excellent issue. I am so glad I jumped on this comic book. It really is jumping out to me with lots of stuff that they are leaving for future comic books. Check it out. Really great book from Vertigo Comics.
Alright, and from there we're going straight digital. Guilty Pleasure first has to come out of the way. Do you have the cover for it?
I do have the cover.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's a long... here we go.
Garfield number 19. Loving, loving, loving Garfield. I'm a really huge fan of the first story arc with Mark Evanier and art by Andy Hirsch. It's the second story with the art by Dave DeGran that, once again, I'm not a huge fan of this artwork for Garfield.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of it at all. It takes you away out of Garfield for a bit. And then after that, you get the Garfield Sunday Classics, and you even get some Thanksgiving pages, because it is a monthly book. So, and I like that. And yeah, you get some 80s Garfield. And if you look at the 80s Garfield, there's a little bit, you could see kind of a little tie to the second artist in the book. But at the same time, it just doesn't work for me, this second artwork. I'm more of a fan of the first artist of the book. And I understand, obviously, if time doesn't permit, he's not
and the
able.
Thanksgiving parade.
Yeah,
and everything.
I'm not a fan of the second artist in the book. And of course, as always, Lisa does the coloring of the book, which is
that's amazing.
Always, her name's always there when you check it out. Colored by
Lisa.
And that's all I wanted to say on that. That's Guilty Pleasure. Now we have two books, which we are doing chapters at a time with. One book is from Zenescope, and one book is from Dark Horse. And since the writer of this book, his birthday just passed, and he's a very close personal friend of mine and Michael's, let's start with that book.
Okay.
Which I hope I put it up, which I probably did not, because I don't... Yeah, there it is. Okay. I had to make sure it's there. And that is Terminator.
Oh, that one? Oh,
yeah, I knew you got the wrong book.
Yeah, there. Terminator.
Burning Earth.
The Burning Earth.
Art by Alex Ross and written by our good friend. He's a co-host on Zone 4. Ron Fortier. His birthday just passed a little bit back. And we are going to be reviewing this chapter by chapter. This is I want to make sure I have the chapters right. I have to go a little bit further back. I think this is about a 5-chapter.
Yeah, I think it is 5 chapters.
I believe it's 5 chapters as well. Yeah.
Because I was looking through it. But,
yeah, but we're going to go chapter by chapter regardless. So the first chapter is Welcome to Hell.
Yeah, Welcome to Hell. So, really, like, this comic book was setting about, it was really humans against the robots.
And anybody who watches Terminator knows
about this. And it's just really, the artwork is really...
Alex Ross, this is before he did, like, Superman or anything.
Yeah, like...
This is his opening to comics.
I was really in awe with this artwork. And the robots that they faced, knowing that they were thinking of different ways of how to get this one robot down, like the big roller person. And
the tank, yeah.
Yeah, the tank, thank you, yeah. And this one guy is trying to take it down. He does everything he can, and it's just really big and destructive. And you get some dialogue in the book.
Lots of dialogue, lots of inner dialogue.
Yeah, where they're talking to each other about this whole, you know, the war thing. And to be honest, like, I just don't want to give so much away because there's just so much like that.
Terminators didn't look like Terminators until...
I was actually going to say that. That's the one thing I saw in that comic book, but I didn't want to really give that away because you guys have to see it. But the ending part of this chapter actually leads into a new character who I'm guessing we're going to see in the next chapter. And that's really interesting that I'm really looking into for chapter 2 of Terminator. But guys, you've definitely got to read the first chapter of Terminator. Like, you will be... I'm hooked on this. I mean, even though it's the first chapter issue and I got others to review as well, which I'm really looking forward to reviewing, just amazing. Guys, if you're a Terminator fan, and if you watch movies like me and my brother have, you'll definitely like this comic book.
Absolutely, positively. Now we're going into, that's chapter 1 of Terminator Burning Earth.
Yep.
We would do a comic book corner about this, but once again, some books deserve to get their shine in the indie reviews. And the next book is definitely something Mike and I've been reading this issue by issue, but Mike missed out on it. And this is Robin Hood Volume 2, Robin Hood Wanted.
Yes.
And this is a 5-chapter book.
Yes, and I'll be doing that.
And it's gonna be for the next 5 weeks. Obviously,
the writer is
Patrick Shand.
I mean, Patrick Shand, Robin Hood. You know,
he hit it out of the park with Volume 1, and we were reading Robin Hood alongside Godstorm, and it was spectacular.
Yeah, and to just do what Chapter 1 is, there's this old guy at the campfire that's talking about everything that happened in Chapter 1, like about...
And that's what's so good. If you missed the first chapter, right there...
And I think it was King John he was talking about?
Yeah, King John and everything that happened in Chapter 1.
I know, I was just trying to remember the name. And he's telling the kids about it, and then... We get, after he's talking more about where we are now, it talks about Robin Hood, Robin actually, where she wants to go visit, well, she goes into this interdimensional world at first to meet up with a past enemy. If you want to find out, definitely read the comic book. So she goes to see her father because... She just wants to know about him, like more about, you know, because we all know that he didn't care about her or anything.
And she is wanted. Robin Hood is wanted.
Yeah, and she is wanted because of what happened, exactly. So we go to also the scene here where we met the guys from the first volume. So they're still around and everything. And basically more about... what happened and everything, like everyone respecting Robin Hood for what she did and everything. So she visits the father, and it goes back and forth really. The guy telling the story about everything that's happened, and she really wants to, you know, like really get the father, but she really, you know, doesn't. But then the father calls the authorities to, you know, because he knows that she's wanted. And after all that happened, there are cops outside, and there's big action that happens with the cops. Yeah, the ending was just really like unbelievable, and there's just so much more of what happened at the campfire about King John, of I think avenging his death, so to say, of that. But oh my God, the whole thing, even the end where Robin Hood gets arrested and everything, and even how she's gonna get out of that is gonna be something I'm looking forward to reading. But guys, Patrick Shand, Robin Hood equals one epic book. I really enjoyed reading Chapter 1.
I want to make sure I got on the right stuff.
And I will definitely...
and we're back. Sorry for that minor
hiccup thing.
Yeah, switched cameras. You probably could tell the change in quality, but...
But as I was saying before I was cut off...
Rudely interrupted.
Rudely.
Gotta hate when people interrupt your sentence.
I will definitely be reviewing the other chapters of this comic book. Or this volume, actually.
You guys have 4 books now to be looking forward to. There's Terminator, there's Robin Hood, there's Argo 5, and there's Binary Gray.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, definitely check out these comic books. I mean... I'm just like really enjoying reading them because, you know, even you know, if you didn't read Volume 1 of Robin Hood, I mean, there's synopsis there. I mean, I do recommend you get Volume 1 of Robin Hood because that was like really just flat out amazing. But yeah, just check out Volume 2 as well when you're at it as well.
Another book from Zenoscope, which I'm going to make a minor mention of, is Wonderland Through the Looking Glass, issue number 2 of 5. Spotlight is on Johnny, who finds the... he's trapped now in Wonderland at this point in time. You read this book, right, Mike?
Yeah, I was looking through it, actually, and I really enjoyed the story of the whole...
His sister actually is the one that sacrificed him, I'm sorry to interrupt you, and threw him into the Wonderland, basically.
Yeah, and it just really... I mean, I like how in the beginning, like, they were talking about, like, all of what to look forward to and everything, including in this comic book with the story so far. And I have to admit, like, once again, just the whole story and...
The story actually is written by, ironically, several people. Joe Bruscia, Ralph Tedesco, Raven Gregory, and Patrick Shand.
Patrick Shand, yeah. I mean, he he's, you know, one of the...
So Johnny wants to escape Wonderland, and he's following the Ebony Blade, which if you guys don't know what the Ebony Blade is, definitely read more into Wonderland and you'll find out what that is, as well as a lot of other things going on in Wonderland. But it starts off with him seeing this girl who's trapped in a spider web, and he actually frees her. They run off, and the Blade tells him, abandon her, don't worry about her, just leave. And basically everything the Blade says basically gets him into more trouble instead of actually gets him out. It hasn't helped him as much as it's kind of put him in danger's way.
Right.
And what he had to do is he had to steal the Queen of Hearts gavel.
Mm-hmm.
He does that, and he gets the next clue to escaping Wonderland, which I'm not going to spoil that. But it definitely leads into some
it leads into
heavy
a lot of
times.
stuff for the next chapter.
Yeah.
Or the next issue.
And I want to make mention of this because we haven't really discussed that much Zenescope on here, but now I've got a lot of the books, so there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to look forward to this month, guys. Before the month's out, we've got a #1 coming out of Zenescope, and lots of big books, so definitely stay tuned. We might not cover every single book that comes out of Zenescope, but because the rest of the month it's going to be big books from Zenescope, I figured we're covering Robin Hood, we'll cover Wonderland Through the Looking Glass as well. So with that, now we're going to move over to a book that Mike only read. I didn't have time to read it, and that's Drumhellar.
Drumhellar.
From Dark Horse.
Yeah, let me just get the...
Oh no, I'm sorry, from Image. I'm sorry.
From Image?
Image
Yeah.
Comics.
Yeah, that's why I was a little bit... Yeah, here's Drumhellar. Okay.
When I open this,
why every time when
I'm
I begin,
sorry!
you have to interrupt me?
It's just when I saw the first
It looked like a
page.
samurai thing, I know, but
No, it's a man in his bathrobe holding up a golf club is what I was gonna say.
No, but it kind of has the feeling of the... But beside the point.
Go, you go.
I'm really, in my opinion, I'm not a fan of the artwork. The artwork was weirdly drawn, but the story is somewhat okay. Like, basically, he goes to his this girl that he hasn't seen in like a very long time, and they want, and you know, like she's like saying, you know, I'm gonna kick you out in the end, and then they just work together because he wants to show her something. Like, basically, this guy, he could connect with the spirits. Basically, a spirit, Harold, that's the thing, thank you, Harold, that he communicates with. And he plays a good role in this, as well as what they are looking for, including this woman that they found at the lake, which was kind of a little disturbing. They actually brought the body back, and what it does, man, it even gives that guy...
I have a feeling Grant Morrison had a hand in that.
Yeah, I can't remember what his name was. The main character in the book. But he basically gets into the whole spiritual thing, as well as when he got that woman with the whole spirit. I mean, I kind of thought that was a little bit like creepy in a way.
They call him Drum.
Drum, yeah. Oh, Drumhellar, Doy. Yeah, so Drum, you actually learn more about him in this comic book. Like, really more about his story as well as to now. And that woman that was summoned, she looks like she's going to appear in the next issue. From the ending cover, which is that right there.
Uh-huh.
That's
creepy.
Yeah.
That's the stuff of nightmares.
I'm not saying it's a good comic book, and I'm not saying it's a bad comic book. I'm saying it's a somewhat okay comic book. Alright, well, you think interesting?
Interesting.
I think somewhat okay. But up to you guys if you want to pick it up and check it out, but why not give it a shot?
Sticking with Image, let's go to Protectors, Inc., Issue 1, still in Image Comics. This, again, just like in Argo 5, felt more like an intro to the people that are a part of Protectors, Inc., and you get like way back in time, and you get an intro to every single character there was. The Pulse, Mr. America, Black Mask, the Huntsman, going to the next page, Shriek,
Yeah, Shriek.
Lady Justice, the Predator, the Blade, Angel, and I think that's it. Yeah, Angel.
Yeah, Angel was one of the characters that I think it was Patriot.
Patriot went missing. The Patriot actually goes missing. He went back to a normal life.
It was really, like you said, an origin story, but more along that, like the Patriot's missing. And there's a picture. Remember that picture that someone saw in the clouds of that fight that looks like someone's in the sky?
lightning.
Yeah, you get the picture, not the picture, you get the story behind that of how and why that happened. But it turned into be.
And you want the truth? The reason I actually looked into this book was because the title is not completely, but almost similar to a story I started to write. I'm not going to say what words, I'm not going to say what part, but it's almost similar to a story title I wrote. And I was like, what? But it has nothing to do, and the story is completely opposite. Beside the point. Made me want to look into it.
But it does talk about, like he said, like Argo 5, really the characters and what they're about, as well as, like I said, that whole lightning scene of what happened in the clouds, and it's really interesting. I really enjoyed reading this comic book, and I would say check it out for something new as a issue.
Definitely.
1.
I enjoyed it a lot, and definitely recommend you guys check it out also. Let's see. I want to see if there's anything else from Image.
I'm just flipping through pictures, seeing which ones we need, which ones we don't.
I think we finished all the... No, there's one more. There's another #1 from Image.
Ah, yes.
Final one, I believe. It's Alex plus Ada #1. And Mike, you really like this book.
I really... Like, I just got to explain the story. Basically...
Portal reference right there. I'm sorry. That looks just like the radio from Portal.
This is all in the technological age where there's people with robots. Like, he talks to his grandmother, that his birthday's coming up, and she's with a robot. There's a foreshadowing that builds up where he was saying, you know, the robot, like, he's okay, he didn't hurt you. Like, he doesn't hurt you or anything, right? And then he said, and then, like, she said no. But, you know, like, you know how when they say, like, he's fine and everything, and then I have a funny feeling something bad is going to happen with all the robots. Because as a gift...
Yeah, the grandmother was with a robot, and then she thought he should get...
He should get a robot girlfriend, too. So, he has a party at his house, and there's this one girl who I think likes him a lot. What's her name? Oh, just...
Is this it?
Yeah.
Isabel.
Isabel, yeah. I think him and Isabel, like... Well, Isabel really likes him. Like, you can actually see that connection of that part of it, and his friends and all that, you know how guys and everyone hangs out. And in the end, the grandmother sends him a gift. And should I really spoil what the gift is?
It's a robot. Everybody
it's a robot girlfriend, yeah. And she just comes out to say hello. Now, here's what I'm thinking what's going to happen in the future issues.
Robot's going to go psycho.
Yes, the robots are going to go psycho, and then it's going to be up to him and whoever else to stop them. But it builds that foreshadowing. Like, when you read the comic book, you could actually see, okay, it's got to build up into something. Because when you read a comic book, you just know it. I don't know how, you just have the feeling of just knowing it.
And now, we actually jumped into, it's 3 books in 1 we're doing here. I know we just said we weren't going to do, and this is kind of why the books, we had to chapter them off. We got 3 books here. It's all new Fathom, Michael Turner, he passed away years ago, but this was his series, and we have all new Fathom 1, we show issue 1, 2,
which is that,
and 3. I believe issue 3 is the one that came out.
Actually, I think that's the issue 3 that I showed.
This is issue...
Oh, no, yeah, I'm sorry, hold on, wait a minute. This is
2.
issue 1.
Yeah, this is 2.
Yeah. And then the one I just showed here...
The first one is issue 3.
And yeah, and that one's issue number 3.
And you can get all 3 from Aspen. They're part of the 10 for 10 sale. Basically, they're 99 cents.
Yeah.
And they're more along the lines of the... Oh, what's the word? The reserved editions. Happy! It's an anniversary for the 15 years of 10 years of Aspen Comics, 15 years of Blue.
But Fathom, I saw as a really interesting character. Like when I read all 3 issues, like the first issue really talks about her and what she does. Like she basically does like things underwater. Like she senses there's something wrong under the water because there's like lots of stuff happening. Like there was an oil spill that she solved, but there was something more under there.
I love the art. The art is what really captures you.
The artwork is stupendous. And when she goes underwater, like she meets up with these people in the end of the story, and we don't know who they are until the next issue. I mean, she does have a news broadcast.
Okay,
that
so let's
she
go to
gets
the next
interviewed
issue
and stuff like that. Yeah. So in issue 2, we find out who they are, and they're actually people that have been like they've been looking for her actually, and it's actually related to a past flashback which happens in issue number 2 actually. And there's just lots of stuff going on, like lots of things that we learn more about who they are and why they're going after her. And she meets up with new people, and then it goes into another story where these guys are flying on an airplane or stuff like that. Like it was just like all excitement there, and that's the end for 2. For Fathom issue number 3 though, like we learn about more about I don't know what they were called. They were called the, I don't know if they were Hellers or the like the people who Fathom works with are the people who are doing research about who they are, and you know, more of a objective. I'm thinking of what they want to do and everything, and it's really up to her to stop all this from happening, as well as you know, we get more stories about the past, like of the things, and that's what I like about the issue. It shows the past of how
it keeps the present,
but it keeps the present, and I like how it connects to the story with more of the plot of what we're gonna read for further issues to come. But Fathoms issues 1, 2, and 3, get it, read it.
It's $1 each.
It's $1 each for them, and you'll definitely enjoy it. And sorry for the cover screw-ups, but
I want to see what we have more of first.
Yeah, but if you guys are into more of a water type story, then you'll definitely pick up this comic book and read it for yourselves. But I would say that I enjoyed reading all 3 issues of Fathom, and to be honest, I really just can't wait to get into the comic book.
Alright, next up, we're in Dark Horse Comics, and we are talking about the Occultist.
I think that's
number
one cover I got wrong.
2. Let me see.
Like, this is the Occultist number 2 also.
Maybe that's a variant cover, I don't know.
Well, I got this cover of the Occultist, and maybe there's other covers too, but beside that...
That's your book once again?
Yes, it's my book once again. It really talks...
I've had a busy week, guys, trust me.
Can you go up? Yeah. There's one woman that gets introduced.
Luca.
Luca. And she plays this part where she wants him to go visit her at the temple. And they do these crazy spiritual things where they go... Yeah, where they go into the planets, and they meet up with some stuff that was like really creepy in some way, but in an interesting way. They go to the planets, and there's lots of stuff there, and there is a bit of a Bow Chicka Wow Wow reference in this comic book. Really, but you get more of how he wants to learn these powers, as well as you know, like really how it's really like when he got that sword, like he's saying, like, you know, I have so much to learn, the sword, this, but how can I learn?
Yeah, but it looks like
Luca's
kind of interrupting his life a bit there.
Well, not really. Like, she's really in love with him, and basically, like, she's more of a how can I say this? She's very romantic. I'm gonna put it in a proper sentence. She's very romantic with him, as well as you know, the other two that were there as well. But you really get more about the occultist. Like, you really learn more about what he can learn, and that's to be continued for the next issue. But it was adventurous, I will say that, and something that if you guys read issue 1, then you'll definitely read the next issue of the Occultist and see for yourselves what you think of the comic book. Now
we're going to Valiant
Yes.
Comics with Shadow Man issue number 12. I guess 13X kind of came out a bit earlier. We might have.
Oh yeah, because actually in this comic book,
he's training.
He's training, and it's someone that's with him, and
he actually trained the father. Yeah, he's the one, and he was saying that you gotta, you know, move past your anger, and you gotta stop thinking so heavily.
Yeah, because
will you give me a break to review something, or do you want to just sit here? I'll go behind the counter.
Go ahead, review.
No, I'm just saying. And
I just read them.
I know you just read them. That's why you're playing with the Smarty Pants.
Go ahead. You want to do it? Go ahead.
No, you might as well go ahead now because I didn't read this part yet.
Alright, fine. I'll go on. So, basically, he is just trying to find out more about his life. Like, just to be, you know,
what happens is his trainer, it's a monkey, and I kind of find that funny. He wants him to clear his mind. He wants him to be, you know,
to know what he's doing.
Exactly, not to just jump in. And at the end, he's like, "Are you mad?" He's like, "F you, Ghost Monkey," and he's like, "Lost? Screw you." Yes. He's like, "Good. That's more like it. Gotta let it out." He wants him to let all of his anger out. Right at the start.
Yeah,
so
because you know you never know what.
Right, he has to get rid of it all.
Might, do
exactly.
Because he doesn't think when he is.
And then the second story is more about a guy who the Shadow actually gives a second chance to, in a way. He's done a couple of bad things, I believe, and in the end he gets a little bit of a warning. He's like. I'm letting you go, but run for the light, basically, in other words. And then we get a third story, which I like it. I like that they're actually putting more than just one story in there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And you could talk about the third one.
Yeah, the third story really talks about, like, more about Shadow Man. And,
outside of being Shadow Man.
Yeah, outside of being Shadow Man, I meant. And really just... Like, I think that they feel for him after that he had, like, not such a good childhood or anything. And people are trying, like, they're not understanding the past of...
He's a bit too rash, though, I will say that.
Yeah, I would say so as well. And, you know, I feel for the Shadow Man, like, really, he had, like, a rough childhood, and it's not his fault the way he is, because... His life
abandoned him.
Right. That and his life he sees is very confusing. He doesn't know what he's doing and the consequences, what leads into the aftermath and or really the after effect of what he does to people. So it's
thus why the training at the beginning of the book
is why it's necessary. But I really feel for this character. You know, I mean, I know he's fictional and everything, but I just really. Just feel for it because it can relate to other people as well, you know, with how their life could be confusing as well, which is, you know, might be just something that you feel for the character. But I would say it's something you should definitely check out and read, and yeah, that's all I say about the book.
We're jumping into Dynamite now. I've got one book, Mike's got one book. We have issue 2 of The Shadow Now. That's basically the Shadow in present day
to be the Shadow
America.
One last time.
To be the Shadow one last time. And what happened in the last issue actually decapitates him a little bit. You know, he got injured and he's in bed, and it turns out these gang members actually show up and they cause trouble. And
lots of it.
Yeah, and the Shadow's not going to sit back and let that happen. He drags himself out of bed, and the woman's trying to stop him. She's like, "You're in pain. you can barely even move. Do you really want to play the hero right now? And he's like, gotta do it. And he actually does. And I love the artwork. I gotta say, the artwork makes it like they took pictures from a movie and just stuck them on a comic book. The artist is a really, it's more like a painted art, and it's really nice.
And you get to know about these mobster people of, you know, all gangsters.
And you're also introduced to a new character who has hypnotic powers, and her name is Batu.
Batu.
Yeah, Batu. B-A-T-U.
The purple street girl, yeah.
Very, very nice. Very nicely drawn.
Yeah, and she goes to meet up with her father, I think. That's behind the whole...
Her grandfather, I thought.
A grandfather, I'm sorry. A grandfather. That's behind all this, and he wants to show her exactly how they do business in a violent way.
He says she's his only living relative. He doesn't exactly say granddaughter or not.
Right. But I thought maybe that's what it
Maybe he did say it in the beginning of the book, and I'm just
It could be, but she's going to play a part in this story, I would definitely say, because I'm like saying, like, okay, she's going to join them, there's going to be lots of training that she's going to be doing, and actually, in the ending, spoiler...
They're actually looking for the Shadow.
Right, and they go to the Bronx, I believe.
They're in New York current day right now, and the Bronx is dangerous, and they're playing it like it's reality, like, you know, present day stuff, and it's really good.
Because they were hiding out in a motel, and they actually found them because someone, I think, ratted them out. Someone ratted them out of where they are.
But they don't want to. But the Shadow doesn't want to be hiding anymore. He doesn't want to hide anymore.
Yeah, he says enough hiding. I just gotta face the music, and
that's where it's to be continued.
But
that was awesome.
Man, that was awesome.
And next, the reason we're reviewing issue 1 at least is because Gail Simone is writing this issue now. Legend of Red Sonja.
Legends of Red Sonja.
Legends of Red Sonja, issue 1. So, Mike, how was it?
I
don't read Red Sonja. No matter
I looked
who
into
writes
Red Sonja, and these guys who are looking for her, they're looking for revenge because, like, some about, like she killed their families or something, like something important to them. I don't want to say what it is because I want you guys to read it. And really throughout the whole book, they're just trying to find a way of how to get their revenge on her.
Tentacles, definitely. Squids and tentacles get involved.
Well, yeah, that's one thing. And she does meet people along the way, Red Sonja, as well as getting to know them. I will admit, though, the middle of the book was a little bit boring. I'm not saying it's a bad comic book when I say that. It was a little bit boring, but it got actually really interesting with the whole squid fight, as well as in the end, which actually is making me interested in reading the next issue of all that, and the people who are looking revenge to kill Red Sonja after what she did, that makes them want to kill her, in a way. And it relates to other comic books that I read about, because it's related to that. Would I say pick this up? It's Gail Simone. Absolutely pick this up. If you want to read Red Sonja and all the swords and tentacles, like he said, then you'll definitely be picking up this book. But I would say it's recommended to check.
Next is issue number 4 of, issue 7.
Yeah.
Of Mark Waid's Green Hornet. And guys, Mark Waid's writing on this book. I've never read Green Hornet up until this point, and that's because Mark Waid's been hitting home runs with Daredevil. So anything Mark Waid takes a shot at, I read now. And the only book that I could not get into, and that's just because of the character himself, was the Hulk.
Yeah.
Mark Waid is writing the Indestructible Hulk. I could not get into that, but when Mark Waid was put on to Green Hornet, I remember we read issue number 1. I had to read it. We were doing a discussion on Zone 4, I believe, about it. And I got hooked. The series was so good. And in this book, Green Hornet as well as Kiddo bring somebody in on their secret. And why is because he wants somebody to be the brains of his operation. And he explains to this character, who I don't want to say who it is, at least not until next issue, because you gotta read this issue. You gotta read this series. And who they bring in... actually, Bit wants to use her as his brains, basically. He gives her all the information he's ever gathered, everything, and he doesn't want her to be his secretary. He doesn't want her to be his sidekick, or anything like that. He wants her as his brains. When he needs something, he needs her. He needs her to be his go-to person, basically.
Or 311, if you want to put it in technical terms.
Exactly. And then we also have a side thing with somebody who's going to be going up against Green Hornet very soon. I want to make sure I got the name right.
Well, the name is...
yeah, I can't remember. Do you remember the name?
I've read so many books. I'm trying to remember names. I'm not good with names. I mean, mostly he looks up the names, and we're really sorry if we don't remember names.
Yeah, I can't remember this guy's name at all.
But you could, if you really check out the
He's a Nazi. Let's just say he's a Nazi, and he wears a mask that's almost similar to Green Hornet, except it's white, damaged, and yeah. So they're there also, and the Green Hornet's looking for information on them. And actually, somebody does escape from the situation with that guy. Oh.
Yeah. But,
and with that, where Gischek is actually the person he was running from, but I don't think we'll have to worry about him. And in the end, he comes face to face with the Green Hornet, to be continued. So awesome. And actually, in this book, Bit actually celebrates a bit because Green Hornet is public enemy #1. There's actually a special task force that they're putting together to take out the Green Hornet. And it's so cool. Mark Waid really has been hitting it out of the park with Green Hornet. I love it. Highly recommend it. And guys, give us 2 seconds. We have to click a button. Yep. And then we'll be back. We have 2 books from IDW, and then we are done. So let's click that button, and then we'll start up again. Yes?
Yes.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We got that button clicked. Now we are doing the last 2 books from IDW. And first one is Ghostbusters, issue 9. I have a different cover, actually.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's Happy Horror Days.
Oh. Well,
I think you have the last issue.
Is it?
No, that's Haunted America. You got the wrong cover, buddy.
Oh, sorry.
You got the wrong cover there, but this is issue number 9 of the...
Yeah,
oh, you probably typed in Ghostbusters. You needed to type in the all-new Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, they changed the title, and now it's back to Ghostbusters.
Because it looks like the book that I'm gonna review.
Yeah, it's colliding. But anyway,
I'm so sorry.
It's Happy Horror Days, part 1 of 2.
Yeah, but you
go ahead.
Too fast. Well, first it talks about this person. If you go back up. And he talks about himself, basically.
Dan Schoening is the artist again. I wanted to mention that.
And he talks about himself of, he's been to hell, and he heard about the Ghostbusters, and he wants to cause havoc as one of the demons. So we get into the action where the Ghostbusters...
I'm finding a bodiless head horse.
Yeah.
Horse head.
They're just trying to... Well, he spits out slime, and there's a funny moment there.
Yeah, Pete gets it right in the face.
Yeah, just like with Slimer and everything. And then this guy, oh god, I hate him.
Walter Peck.
I hate him.
Everybody hates Walter Peck.
Because he is so, like,
he's a dick.
My god. Because he's like saying, oh, well, the Ghostbusters did this, you know.
Did you notice that this slime right here, this reference right here, it looks like actual real, like from the movie?
From Ghostbusters 2, yeah. They use the slime to get rid of the fire because it's a supernatural thing that happens. Egon actually talks about it before they go into it.
Egon always talks
about it. And the guy that we see from the beginning of the issue with a jack-o'-lantern in his hand actually goes after them, and he pretty much got to Winston, which was, you know, what he got into that back case of the guns and everything. So, yeah, there's gonna be lots to
he gets himself captured.
Yeah, he gets himself captured, and
yeah, I was wondering what you meant back is. I was saying he captured himself.
That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry, I'm just because you're going up and down. I'm trying to remember. But I would say, I mean, even that big thing where the Satan came up and got the jack-o'-lantern, like that was kind of freaky. But this Ghostbusters of Happy Horror Days Part 1. Looking forward to actually seeing what's to come in Part 2.
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead? of the Happy Heart.
And there's a couple of funny little clip things. They have one that's like Charlie Brown with Peter Venkman as the parapsychological experiments, $5, and it has that guy from the first movie. And then the second one is Ray at a camp out, and he's got Stay Puft Marshmallows, and then in the clouds you see the Stay Puft Marshmallow in space. I thought that was hilarious too.
Yeah, but if you're Ghostbusters fans and if you sort of like the new team, I like the girl.
I love that the regular Ghostbusters are back.
Yeah, the regular Ghostbusters along with the new teams. I mean, the guys on there is but the girl on there is very interesting. Yeah. And for the love of God, get rid of Walter Peck.
No, that's why they have him in there. He's the jerk he's the one you hate in the book. You have to have one person you hate.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But definitely read it. I'm looking forward to reading the next part of Ghostbusters of that.
And now the last book, the coup de grace from IDW, and it's the big event coming out of Transformers right now. Transformers Dark Cybertron, Issue 1, Chapter 1. It's going to be going through all the...
This is the right one.
Yeah, that's the right one.
Yes.
That's the right cover. And Mike Soundwave, or Shockwave, I'm sorry, is the reason for all that's going on Cybertron. And Shockwave is actually doing the bidding of, his name. Why can't I remember his name? It was here.
Soundwave?
He's doing...
Was it Soundwave?
Janix.
Oh, Janix. Oh.
And it's 6 million years later. In the beginning, it's like 6 million years ago, and it's when Janix was actually pulled into some type of a dark hole with who were the other characters again? It was mentioned right here.
I can't remember really because they were robot.
Nova Prime.
Yeah.
And
I just
Cyclonus was there and a few other people, but we're 6 million years later now, and Shockwave basically is now on Cybertron. Cybertron is actually being led by Starscream.
Yep.
He was voted into office. Thank you God, Bumblebee was voted out. I hate Bumblebee. Bumblebee's actually in this book with the Dinobots. They actually banished Bumblebee and the Autobots to the wilderness of Cybertron. Orion Pax, aka Optimus Prime, meets up with Rodimus and his crew, and this book just brings it all back together. And after Dark Cybertron, I think we're going to get a all-together Transformers book again. Galvatron is in this. Nova Prime is in this. And it's all thanks to Shockwave, and they're now on Cybertron. And next issue is the Dawn of Darkness, the Dark Dawn, Dark Cybertron chapter. That's chapter 1. Mm-hmm. Next issue will be in, I believe, More Than Meets the Eyes.
I think I saw that More Than Meets the Eyes.
I think so.
Yeah. I would think it was More Than Meets the Eyes. But whichever it'll be.
Whatever, it's going to be carrying through to all the other books. The artwork's spectacular. Don't want to spoil too much about what's going on here. Hopefully we'll get Grimlock back. I don't think Grimlock was...
Grimlock.
Yeah, we had the other dinosaurs in here, though. So that was cool.
I was wondering, there was someone missing.
Grimlock's not there at this time.
He might be in future issues, though. I mean...
He will. He'll probably show up at some point, I hope. But I have a feeling by the end of all this, Galvatron is going to be leading the Decepticons. Optimus Prime will become Optimus Prime again, leading the Autobots, and the war is just going to start all over again between the Autobots and the Decepticons.
And hopefully Optimus Prime stays alive.
He is alive.
No, I'm saying that he doesn't die. Again.
He didn't die. He left.
Oh, this is before.
No. The war was over. Right. Megatron died. Optimus Prime lived. But the war was over, so Optimus Prime's use was not needed anymore. So
Megatron
he left.
Okay.
He left Cybertron. He left Bumblebee in charge, and he let also. He was giving Rodimus his blessing to go find the Knights of Old Cybertronia.
And then he left.
And then he left on his own and he's no longer Optimus Prime. He's Orion Pax, and
I'm thinking of
now he's back though. But now all the things are back together again. Now they're going back to Cybertron to help Starscream with the problem that's going.
Watching the animes.
Yeah, but now they're going back to Cybertron to help Starscream because of what's going on Cybertron.
Yeah.
It's good to have Optimus Prime back.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I haven't read Transformers in months. I've been so busy. So now, thank God for the indie comic reviews, I'll be reading them. Dark Cybertron Chapter 1 was amazing. Definitely something to check out this week. Highly recommend you guys check this issue out. It was super awesome, spectacular.
And with that,
we're done. We had a lot of books this week and so much to cover. And guys, if you think this was a lot, wait till you see the indie book review next week. Next week, I will highlight some books from the digital reviews that we have here. We have Grim Fairy Tales issue 91. We have The Rocket Spirit issue number 3. We have Other Dead issue 3. Star Wars issue 11. Some number ones which I don't want to spoil. One number one I will mention is Unity issue number 1, which is from Valiant. We have Walking Dead 116.
Oh yeah.
What other book can I make mention of?
Along with
Mocking Dead issue 3.
Along with also next chapter of Robin Hood, Terminator, and what was it?
Binary Gray and
Binary Gray. Yes. Oh, how can
Argo
I forget
5.
that? Binary Gray. Yeah.
But there's a lot of number ones, a lot of interesting things. There's a couple of trade paperbacks which we might overview because there are a few, one from IDW and one actually coming out of Zenescope.
Yeah,
so
but guys, all the books that we covered in this episode, really just go check them out. And let us know in the comments below of the books that we reviewed, what you thought about them, because
yep, and as I said in my comic book haul, guys, your comments on this video as well as the Dark Avenger comic review, which is coming up in 2 days, I will be overviewing all the comments on this video, on the comic review, and the previous comic book haul video, and I will be spotlighting them in my comic book haul at the end of next week. So let us know any books you recommend, questions, comments, your opinions on books, whether it be the same as ours or different. And let your voices be heard, guys, and I will make mention to you guys during the weekly comic book haul at the end of next week if you like. If not, then you can just say this is a comment, I'd just like to make a statement, but just saying.
Pretty much.
Don't forget to check out comicrelated.com, your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Don't forget to check out Dark Avenger Inc., that's our group, where a bunch of us make a bunch of reviews, videos, and whatnot each and every week, each and every day practically, for you guys. If you haven't already subbed to that channel, to this channel, or to any of the channels on any of the members of Dark Avenger Inc., please do put us in your sub box. This way you don't miss out on a single video from any one of us, from any one of our channels. Also, if you guys like some written stuff, Comic Frontline is back. I would like to make mention of that.
Yep.
And we are moving full steam ahead. Comic Frontline is a spectacular. It's only been a couple of days, and we've made gigantic leaps on that. It's a blogger, so you go to blogger.com/Comic Frontline and you'll find us there. But we are making huge leaps. We are taking off in leaps and bounds. Let's just put it that way. And with that, guys, thank you so much for sticking with us. Also on Dark Avenger Inc., really quick, there are a bunch of links to a bunch of things that one or more of our members on Dark Avenger Inc. are part of. Check those out when you get the chance and enjoy some comic goodness. Also, don't forget to check out Pete's Basement.
Pete's Basement as well. And just show YouTube likes video by giving it a favorite.
Pete's Appreciation Month on Pete's Basement as well, so show some love on the Twitter. And
I love that pizza.
Yeah, we actually are starting to use Twitter a bit more. At least I am, and with personal tweets and whatnot. And Dark Avenger Inc., we're starting to use it, and Comic Frontline absolutely is using it. So for those of you that are on Twitter and you haven't already checked out our Comic Frontline's Twitter, definitely click that follow button. This way you'll be up to the minute with our tweets as well.
And we're on Facebook as well.
Yep, facebook.com/Dark Avenger Inc.
Yep. And just give us a like
that's where Comic Frontline and all of us come together. So we're not making separate ones for those, not yet anyway. So thank you guys so much for sticking around. Let's end this outro already. Take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting, and we'll see you guys. And we'll see you guys in the next review. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.